Welcome learner to the session of MCS-51. It is MCS-51, but I am Dr. Devasri De. I am discussing the MCSL-054 part of MCS-51. It is basically a lab session. Here we are giving a very basic overview of JSP because in your lab session it mainly contains the JSP and servlet. So today I will introduce very basic overview of JSP. Let's come to our introductory slide. Here you can see a three-layer architecture where the heterogeneous client's environment interacting with the middle tier, that is the internet, and which in turns communicating with the web server, which is a Linux or Unix web server. So heterogeneous client interacting via internet with one type of server which having the similarity with any one of this client. And this is the web server platform, and it is the introductory phase of the server side programming. But before discussing about the server side programming etc., let me introduce what JSP is. Basically, JSP is a server side technology that does all the processing at all server. It is used creating dynamic web applications. It using Java as your programming language. So this is known to all of you. Basically, any HTML file can be converted to JSP file by just changing the file extension from .html to .jsp. It would run just very fine. What differentiates JSP from HTML is that it is the ability to use Java code inside HTML. In JSP, you can embed Java code in HTML using JSP tags. That is for run. At the extreme end of my presentations, I gave a code where a time which is run each and every time shows you the time. So JSP is very dynamic. It shows you the current time, and the code is also dynamic in nature. JSP technology is used to create web application just like server-side technology or servlet technology. I don't know whether you know servlet or not, but servlet is another server-side technology introduced by Java just before the JSP. It can be thought of as an extension of servlet. JSP is thought as an extension of servlet because it provides more functionality than servlet, such as expression language, JSTL, etc. Many more features are having there. A JSP page consists of HTML tags. It also contains JSP tags. The JSP pages are easier to maintain than servlet because we can separate designing and development individually maintain this. It provides some additional features such as expression language, custom tags, etc. Let's come to our next slides, where you can see very clearly our three-tier architecture is a little bit modified into a four-tier one, where clients are interacting via internet to the web server, where web server in turns communicating with the database. So by any chance, client having no provision to modify the database, providing the database security is the main funda behind the JSP program. Same in case of servlet definitely, but the database remain secured in case of this three-tier architecture, and therefore this platform is known as J2EE platform, Java 2 Enterprise Edition platform, and this type of architecture is known as Model View Controller or MVC architecture in short. JSP is maintained through this architecture. Now we come why we basically use JSP. JSP is a multi-platform applications. Its component runs by using Java Beans. Reusability features are providing here using Java Beans CJB, and others advancement of Java is also supported here. And it is mainly mentionable that moving JSP file from one platform to another is very easy. Look here in this program, in this figure, whatever I given in the slides. One web platform is IIS, which is Microsoft platform, where you can write JSP and automatically and very easily you can transfer to Apache web server. This is a platform heterogeneity. But in a very heterogeneous platform, you are able to exchange the JSP programs. This supports the Java's platform independence concept here. Next, Next, our questions: is there any similarities between ASP and JSP? The answer will be yes. ASP is another server pages technology as like the JSP Java server pages. It introduced by Microsoft. The technology behind the ASP and JSP are same but in ASP the language was used in Visual Basic, and recent advancement in ASP.NET, the platform is in .NET platform the languages are used as Visual Basic, either Visual Basic.NET or C#.NET, but both are having the similarity, but JSP is platform independent where ASP is not. JSP can be compared with Servlet many more times, and ultimately you should know that whenever JSP are compiled, it transferred to a Servlet programs automatically. Now look at the JSP architecture here. In this architecture programs, we have to note there are many more interconnections or many more steps are inbuilt, because from web browser when client requests are accepted, this client request in terms of HTML comes to the internet zone, and via internet this request is transferred to the web server. Web server accepts it and the JSP technology begins to act over it. JSP having a inside web server there is a program known as JSP Servlet Engine. It accepts the HTML code, depage it, that means shaded of the HTML tags and only taken the content or variables etc etc, parts means it's compile, checking the parts of speech, many more things, then it's synthesizing, then convert it into the Servlet program, compile it ultimately, and after that it generates the responses without any HTML format comes again to the internet, and when it's a matter to coming in the web browser, once again the HTML page is reformed. So the page, depage, repaginations techniques is going on continuously in the JSP's life cycle. This is the wonder of JSP. They can taken care of everything by their own. Next question is come before discussing the steps of writing JSP, we have to mention a gist of JSP. JSP is extension of Servlet. It is basically an extended version of Servlet. It's very easy to maintain. It can be developed very quickly. No need to recompile and redeploy until you have changed your programs. It less code than code are very less to require to write for the Servlet. But in case of the what can I say, in case of the JSP program writing and executing, it is also very simple. We have to start the web server, put the JSP file in a particular folder which are mentioned, it is called the deployment, and then we have to visit the browser by putting such an URL http://localhost: port number: context root /JSP file. As for example, suppose your program name is index.jsp, so your path will be http:// localhost: 8080 is the very common port for JSP and Servlet / my application, suppose this is your location folder name or root folder name /index.jsp, and then your JSP will be executing. Next question is that do I need to follow the directory structure to run a sample JSP? The answer will be definitely no, but other than TLD file. But if you have specified such a bin file, Servlet file and TLD file, your architecture will be such a type of. Suppose you always inside your web server there is a folder named as web app. You can directly put your JSP content there, or by creating a package. Inside web app there remain a folder web.inf. Inside this web.inf there remain a library as well as web.xml file. This is the deployment wizard giving the direction to web server where to run and how to run the JSP and Servlet programs. And inside web.inf there remain classes. Automatically JSP programs when compiled, the classes will goes inside the class folder, and when the execution stops it automatically vanished. So there lies the dynamism of JSP program. Next, there is a very basic JSP program, so you can know it is written by your known HTML code, having the HTML tags in or preambles with the HTML/HTML. In between this, all the tags are very known to you, head, title, body, etc. Within the body, there remain two % tags indicating the Java syntax, of which one is very known to you, system.out.println, by printing a statement, and this % tags only compiled other than the JSP programs. Before going to any detailed part of the JSP more today, let's thanks all and completing our JSP